So, hi there. I am so privileged. I have Kristina Antisok with me, one of my favorite people on the planet Earth. How are you today, Kristina?
I'm better now that I'm here, Valerie. Thank you.
Oh, how cool, how cool. And why don't you just tell everyone a little bit about yourself here so that they know about who you are and what you're about?
Okay, so my name is Kristina Antosik. I've had a very, very huge life-changing twin flame experience early on in my life, which happened to happen after a early childhood of death that I hadn't gotten to process yet, where both my parents passed before I was 11. And all of this put me on the spiritual journey for the past 20 years.
Right, right, right. And you mentioned to me a channel or something that you have, or a
Oh,
way
I'm so
that people
sorry.
can look you up. So could you tell
Yes.
everybody about that?
I'm so sorry. Thank you, Valerie. Yes, I did create a channel that I was hoping could be a nice little hangout for people to talk about anything they felt like without feeling weird about it, from twin flames to UFOs, anything that's expanding consciousness, called Soul Spa University on YouTube, which has pretty much angelic experiences, anything that connects here to the non-physical, which I feel is the real reality.
And that's what we hear from the other side when people actually die and come back and they say, "This is the dream.
Yeah.
That's the reality." Wow. And
And
I
I do have a playlist where I interviewed people who have passed on and come back.
awesome. Well, I didn't even know that. So look at that serendipity, right? Okay. And synchronicity. Okay, so I think what I wanted to do here is just give you the floor. Um, because the last video we did, I was just telling Christina that I looked back at it and it was like, I was doing a lot of talking. So, my first question to you is, what was the biggest perspective shift from your twin flame experience?
When you say that, you mean like from it, can you clarify that one? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for instance, how did this change your inner world? I'm actually just reading this book right now, actually listening to a book. And I know once upon a time we couldn't say that, but now we have books on
Yeah.
audio. But this is the
Yeah.
Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe
Yeah.
Dispenza. And he's talking about the brain and
Yeah.
how the brain changes and then your whole perspective, who you are, the habit of being yourself, you become a
Oh,
new you. So what was your perspective shift from
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Before that, like not counting when I was very young, because I feel like when we're all very young, we have more memory than we realize. Like we maybe but that we don't remember now, in terms of where we came from, what's really reality, etc. So at the time where I met my twin flame, let me think, I was 21 turning 22. And at that point, the veil was pretty thick over me. I was just living a normal life. When I say normal, whatever normal is for anybody, I was trying to graduate college. I was getting food for my best friend. I didn't have any family. I considered friends family, and and I was going through a divorce. So whatever normal is, okay. Back in 2008. So this is almost 20 years ago. And let's just say when I met him, it was an instant from the second I saw him, like the way the body chemistry and energy was to the second we locked eyes, everything shifted. It felt like, do I know you? Like, are you a part of my family that I didn't know? Which would have, I guess my human brain was trying to fit it into logic. And I'm like, as much as I could fit it into logic as I could. So, like, my grandfather father was disowned by his family for whatever reasons for marrying someone that wasn't Italian and Catholic. And I'm like, all right, well, he had a million siblings that had a million kids that had a million, like maybe this is a cousin. And something's familiar,
Right.
something's deeply familiar, and the entire world shifted. And from then, my life was never the same. I wrote poems about it several years later, about that exact moment, and there was many moments that followed that broke my world wide open. It was from then on that I knew, because it was more and more that happened, that life is not what we thought. It is not in a little square. It is not in a little cubicle. It is not this human body getting a job, get married, have kids. Like it is not
A
anything.
prescription. It's not a
Yeah.
prescription. It's not a it's not a path that you do this, you do this, you do this, and then you're going to be happy. It does,
Yeah.
there's no prescription for that, and you found that out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, my human brain, because I didn't do a lot of processing yet. So that's where it really, I'm sure you'll ask questions that lead to this, but so I'm gonna hold back. But like basically, because I didn't do a lot of processing, again, everything was trying to fit into logic world. So I was like, oh, this is what Disney meant my whole life. Like I don't think I knew I was straight until that moment. You know? Like I was like, I guess this is how we feel with people. Like with guys, I guess. It's kind of like always trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. And then with him, it was like, oh my God, I'm really straight. Like every cell of my being is
Oh wow,
like
so
beyond
that
world.
answered that question for you. Huh, that's very interesting.
I didn't even know I had a question until that, but it was answered. Yeah.
Well, this is kind of like part and parcel of what happens when you realize, um, that that person is you. And that's the part that it was interesting when you were describing something familiar. Yeah, you were looking at yourself in your
Wow.
body.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's familiar and you're thinking family. And oftentimes they do look like people in your family.
Well, you know what's even more interesting regarding what you asked about perspective is that before that, my type on paper was different
Oh, yeah.
based on what I grew up with. So like I grew up in like a kind of family that was very Italian. And so my type was like the olive skin, the very dark hair, um, Guido. Like I literally had an uncle Guido. Like that's
Sorry.
wasn't okay, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
but this guy was like part ginger is what we call it. Like he didn't actually look like anything I thought. I would never write that I would be attracted to these qualities, and yet like all of me was just like
Right.
everything in me is just like make babies with that one.
It's a total experience.
Yeah.
So what I want to know here is how is this still true for you today? What is the part of the change and the awakening? Because oftentimes, if it's done correctly, really,
Mhm.
and if it's not, this is the sad part, you are stuck in the pain for years and years and years. And you'll notice online, there's a lot of people talking about 15 years still in the pain. And again, I want to give a shout out very quickly to Kurt Johnson's course on the true spiritual journey, because he talks about how it's about your soul, it's about you reconnecting, or no, not even that's not true. Connect, no, no, even connecting isn't true. Very hard to talk about this stuff in human language because language is so limited. It's you finally being you.
Mm,
Totally,
mm,
totally. So,
mm.
how is this true for you still today? Because I don't know, do you talk to this person anymore? Do you know where this person is? Or you're with somebody else, I believe, right? So, yeah.
So what's interesting is for years, okay, so actually Valerie and I go way back.
We
And
do.
Valerie even knows that when we went way back, which was a long time ago, I was still in the throgs of it. I don't even know the oh, and so short not shortly, but even it took years after that that eventually I jokingly referred to myself as a retired twin flame, meaning I'm very familiar with the experience. But how is it still with me today is that the so I mentioned the very barely beginning of the sparkly part of the journey, and then from there on it was a whole like you can have a whole season of like, oh my God, of what happened after that, which didn't result in fun. It did not result in fun at the time. But what it did result in eventually, as I'm in a catechism and like, whatever from the years and what happened was that it put me on the path I was supposed to be on. So, um, so, so it opened my world wide up and to so many things that my soul was seeking from then on that led me to how I can help people today and how I did help people through this experience, not particularly twin flames, some, yes, but with a lot of other spiritual things, a wide variety of it, which I continue to I guess, hone my craft by default just because I'm genuinely interested in all of this because I'm meant to be in it. So thank you, Twin Flame. Do I talk to him? No. But it's like, who knows what's going on in dreams that I had to stop at one point. I had to tell him in my dreams to stop because it was early on in the
Hmm.
experience and I felt crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only dream of my twin flame when there's something cathartic going on for him in his life, it seems, or he wants to get a message to me. I just spoke to him last week through text, and he told me he still dreams about me, no matter who he's with, how
Wow.
long we've been away from each other, which now is kind of like maybe about 3 years. And then before that, another 2 years or more, 4 years actually, 7 years total. And he still dreams about me several times a night. I mean, a week. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there is something very strong, but I think what you said is the soul of it, the crux of it, that it started spirituality, that's it's like your soul says, oh, if these two same soul others, because you share the same soul, come together, there is a chemical reaction, actually, just like two parts hydrogen, one part oxygen, or whatever makes water. Like, can you believe that? Like, that's the weirdest thing, right? Oxygen, there's no water in there. Hydrogen, there's no water in there. You put them together in the right, and water comes out of it just like magic.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I believe that the twin flame coalescence is like that. It's meant to create this other element of a way of approaching life. I started meditating every day when this happened because, well, it was the only place I could find peace. Because you were saying about like, the pain that happening here.
Yeah. Hmm.
But what's really cool about that, and I want to see. Oh, and this is a good one. How alone did you feel when you were going through this?
Oh my God. So this is like what 18 years ago. So I didn't know what meditation was. I didn't was not on this path. I just did the I love God and Jesus, which I still do for me. But I'm cracked wide open for, I listen to Buddhism every night. I have clients that, as you know, same with you probably, all different types of beliefs.
Mhm.
Um, or non-beliefs, but basically how alone? Oh my God. Because I wasn't on this path. I didn't know I was surrounded by angels all the time. I didn't know capital R reality. However, it did all of a sudden I had psychic gifts. not that I cared, I really didn't care. And yet it was happening and everybody was amazed. And I was like, whatever. Like I was a medical intuitive. Like it awakened so many, what people would call paranormal events between
Right,
him and I, that were just, I mean, the synchronicities were off the charts, but because I wasn't anywhere on this path prior, I didn't know there was a path to be on. So I kind of was like, am I crazy? And so talk about alone. Oh my God. I mean, I ended up, if you could find the epitome of alone, that's how I perceivingly ended up that year and that journey, like in the hospital on my 22nd birthday. You know, um, talk about the ground, what hit it, what is it, hitting the bottom, hitting the bottom. Because I didn't know there was a path where you could realize you're never alone. I just thought there were humans surrounding you that made you feel alone because they don't understand
mhm,
and they don't seem to care to. They
right.
seem to want to check a box. You have these symptoms, take a pill, you know, which, nowadays finally it's coming out, so if a one-time awakening event like this happens in another country, it would be an initiation into shamanism, right?
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a very,
Actually, there now is a psychological, the American, Psychology Association actually has a code for a spontaneous spiritual awakening because they started to notice that people were having this. Generally speaking, not always, it happens around a time of great loss. And generally speaking, the awakening happens in the twin flame experience when the twin flame, who is the runner, runs.
yep,
And the
yep.
chaser, which you were the chaser. You,
Oh yeah,
yeah, you had to be the chaser because the
yeah,
runner doesn't wake up. And a lot of people
yeah.
say to me, like, well, excuse me, like, why is that? Like, why do you think that only one of you is supposed to awaken? And I said, like, well, if you have to go out and get milk, do both of you go out and get milk?
Mhm.
No. You are the leader. It's called divine feminine. You could be a man and be the divine feminine, but it's the leader. It's the one who is ahead in consciousness. So when you go to your spiritual awakening, since your other self is a past incarnation of you that your soul decided, let's just, because we all know that time is an illusion. Time space is an illusion. When you get up to a certain level, there is no time, there is no space. I mean, just go watch the movie Interstellar if you think this is crazy. This is
Oh no,
science. This
yeah, yeah.
science is proving.
I love it.
And Kurt talks about this. He talks about the fact that twin flame actually proves reincarnation.
Nice, nice. I want to hear more about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you. So anyway,
Wow. Wow.
um,
That's cool. And yes, by the way, yeah, my friend interviewed Donald Hoffman, who proved he won the Nobel Prize for proving that time and space are not fundamental to the fabric of our reality.
right,
So it's so interesting this illusion we're living in. And a lot of times when you dream, you kind of get. I've been proven it a few times. Yeah. I feel like in dreams we go in higher realms sometimes too. So yeah,
right, we can, yes. And sometimes it's just processing,
yeah,
our brain's processing what we already know. But then there are these moments, and quite frankly, there have been several times in my life when I have floated down to my bed. And I have felt myself floating back down to my bed. So I don't know where I go, but I go somewhere, right?
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. You
Yeah,
don't just
yeah.
like fall back in your body like I do that
No,
sometimes. I'm
no,
like,
I can feel the descending that happens. But anyway,
more peaceful.
so it's always just such a pleasure talking to you. And really, if you could reach someone now who is going through this, right? And give them hope, or some kind of balm for what they're going through, because that's something that I really would love to do. And there's a deep apology that I feel like I have to say to you, to the, I think, maybe three or four other people that I've been with, worked with, and didn't know that they had had a twin flame experience, because I would have been so much more helpful if I had known. But it takes patience. And most people do not have patience for this because they think, well, because it's true. They see you being addicted, obsessed, right?
Yeah.
And it's true. But what is the addiction and what is the obsession? It is to the mind, the egoic identity. And when you go through a twin flame experience, that's what cracks open the identity of who you fundamentally think you are or you have been,
Yeah.
especially if it's based on what you've been taught and not what you have actually encompassed yourself. So, what would you say to people going through this now?
Um, okay, totally want to answer that, but I just want to comment on all that amazingness you just said, because that's right. You just reminded me, like for so long I described when our eyes locked, it was like as if I went up out of my body and like had such a broader perspective, like almost from like space, and like all of a sudden like new former lifetimes existed. Like I remember this. Like all of a sudden I knew, oh wow. Like I wasn't even like questioning that before, which is weird because from then on, all my questions led me wherever. But like it was just like all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm not just this. Like there's so much more. Like so yeah, it really did. It really did do what you're saying. Um and yeah, and it's very annoying when people think you're just obsessed because I was never like that before. Again, I didn't even know if I was straight. Like, not that I shared that with anybody. It just wasn't a question until I met him and I realized I am. You know what I mean? Like it was just and I was never like that afterwards. So it was, I'm not like that kind of person. Like, so it really bothered. It's like the poor, like, what do you call it? The chaser? Is that what we are? There's a runner and a chaser.
Yeah, they're the runner, the runners, they're the one that usually opt out in
Oh
some
yeah.
form or another. Sometimes it's just emotional, actually, you know.
Yeah. It's
Sometimes it's
just,
just emotional. I'm a very exceptional case
yeah.
because I was with my twin flame for 30 years.
Yeah.
That blows
You,
my mind, but I didn't know.
yeah.
And I was even told by someone that that was my twin. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's what I said
Uh-huh.
at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what happened to the two of us? We both changed and grew. And
Yeah.
I notice now, and I know I'm talking and I want you to talk. I just want to say this though. I notice that every time I talk to him or he talks to, I don't know about him for me, I still see parts of myself that need to loosen, that need to dissolve, that need to, it happens every single time now. So there is this great lesson learner, but not in a heavy-handed way, but natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're a cool case because I think the reason like it's the way it is for you is because you're kind of advanced in different ways more than most. Like you've already been doing work, in terms of yourself, in terms of spiritually, in terms of,
Right.
it didn't, so it's interesting. It still has the anvil effect where it feels like it hits you like an anvil, but at least you can like you're like being adults about it. It's like
Our early childhood cartoons just popped into my head, yeah. The Roadrunner, Bugs Bunny, when they drop the anvil. Great analogy. Really.
ironic. Road runner.
Yeah, Roadrunner, right,
Yeah,
exactly.
runner, runner.
Runner, chaser.
Who's causing it? The runner. Yep. No.
Right.
Anyway.
So anyway, well, that's just all the ego.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. That's actually a law. And again, Kurt Johnson, please, if you're going through this and you want to know more, because he even has explained the second law of thermodynamics. A greater
Wow.
force always displaces a force of less, weight. So that's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
don't you grow? You're not the same person you were 20 years ago. I'm not the same person I was when I started. My spiritual journey began when I was 15, um, consciously, but even before then, really, if I look at it and the metaphysical things that was happening to me even as a child that I didn't talk to anybody about. I didn't
Yeah.
even I didn't know if anybody else was having it, and I just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, this is kind of funny, but once upon a time, I saw Jesus in a cup in a bubble bath. Okay, so that is the truth. That happened to me.
And it was before you were old enough for drugs.
I was
So
only about 7 years old, right? So,
it was not ayahuasca or acid.
okay, yeah,
That's cute. Little pocket Jesus.
right.
Everyone has a little pocket.
So tell me, so what would you say though to somebody with compassion? And this is going to be our
Okay. Yeah, yeah. What would I say to them? Just remember that every second you are here matters so much more than you know.
Mm,
I know that you feel like it is the end of the world. Just remember that you are not alone, no matter how much your ego is trying to convince you that you are. If you ever feel like you are, it is just your ego and you are not your ego. There are a whole society of us that understand you, that have been through this and come out the other side. Also, a little relief, if you're really going through it, is to know that life is temporary. We're here for like a second and then we're all free. But every second you are here matters like so much. It's like you're putting like hundreds of dollars in your spiritual 401k. Like it's just beyond what you could ever know. So remember, no little second or millisecond or any bit of pain is ever wasted. And same for all your other emotions. It is all you're evolving without knowing it. It looks like nothing's happening, a lot's happening. And each second we're here, it's so much progress. So hang on. This is temporary. And the more you go inward and really look at the most you can invest is in yourself. So just to like, the more you could kind of differentiate, what's my ego? What's my soul? What's my heart? Things like that. The more you're investing in yourself for your own well-being. And remember, there is community out there with Valerie, with Kirk, even me,
yeah.
but there's so many more like us, and you're not alone. And I can't help, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, that you're surrounded by angels. Always reach, I can't help but say, go to God, always reach out to angels and God and whatever you believe. And, that is of good and divinity. And know that you're never alone. You always have yourself, your higher self, your angels. Any second you think you're alone, it's not true. And I understand how deceiving this illusion, this play that we're in can be every day. But know that even when you go to sleep at night, I feel like we're going home every night. Because who signs up for work for 60 years straight? Like you go home after work. So just keep on trucking through and listen to your guidance, ask for strength to get through it. And hey, I can't help but feel like, your life path, you planned this, you manifested this guy, you can manifest even better, despite what you think. Um,
Yeah.
so the way I got people through it was actually to help them manifest their blue flame, which is that's how I even initially learned about twin flame
Mm.
was through some class about your blue flame, but I was more focused on who's this twin flame thing. And then I realized this was like 7 years after my experience that I wasn't fucking crazy. Because before that, I didn't know the term, you know? So, so I don't really, I heard a blue flame like it reincarnates even less often, but with you, with you in the same life, but that they actually don't leave. So I was like, cool, whatever. And like I just used my twin flame as a catalyst and wrote, what I did want, which is, do I really want a guy that's running? No. You know what I mean? Like, so let me just write in that. So, you're more in control than you think. But I like to let go and let God, give my little stick figure up to God and the universe and my higher self and say, please, this or better, and just trust. Because yeah, I feel like I'm saying too much, but
No, you're not. So I want to add something though.
yes, please.
First of all, I don't know anything about the blue flame, and I'm really interested in that. So maybe that's going to be another interview, right, in the future. And the other thing is, Kurt right now is with his twin
Mhm.
because you can transcend by going through the steps that you are now aware of. He condensed it down into a way of joining, with that person. And he has actually united like maybe like 1,000 twin flame couples or something like that.
Wow.
I know, it's really, really cool. So
That's wow.
there is something to be said about, but the fact is, what my lesson now is that distance, time, even other partners doesn't diminish the connection. That's my journey. It's
Mhm.
still there. And and so And ultimately, what is this? And even as I say it, I can feel the tears welling up in my eyes and the passion that I feel about this. This is the path of unconditional love. You
Yeah.
are learning by finding yourself in another body, unconditional love. You give up an agenda, you give up thinking that you can have an outcome. The more you do that, the more the possibility of union exists.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
it's eternal, like Christina said, this is eternal.
Mhm.
And we have been, if you're eternal, just think about that for a second. You can't think about that. That's beyond your brain, you know?
Yeah.
But here's what I tell people to do. It's a really cool little thing. Take a mirror and stand in front of a mirror sideways. So you're seeing yourself in both reflections. Do you realize it never stops? There is no end.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah.
That's the only way that I have ever known experientially in this reality we can see forever. But we
Oh,
know forever. We
hmm.
know it. We know it,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
and
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm so fascinated. I listen to near-death experiences all the time, and yet I have yet to find one that incorporates the twin flame. So we should talk about that, like whenever you want, because
anytime.
we're
That's
curious.
very, very, very cool. Yeah, that's very interesting. Um, I I read Dr. Ray Moody's book, Life After Death, in the 1970s. That's when I read it, or maybe the late 70s, 80s, when it first came out. And I'm telling you, this stuff has always, always fascinated me, from the get-go. But
Yeah.
anyway, okay, so is it a pleasure? Christina, always, and to be continued. So if you're enjoying this, please comment, like, subscribe. Christina, do you want to say my channel is Your Brilliant Future on YouTube? But if you're watching this, you know that. How about you, Christina? Where can people find you again?
Soul Spa University. It should be written on my little
It's right
square
there. Yeah, yeah. And I
on
should
you
have mine too. Thank you. But
on YouTube and Instagram, Soul Spa
right.
University.
Okay. Well, from one in process twin flame to a retired twin flame, but also remembering that if you've had that opportunity to look in someone's eyes that is you, wow, that's a wow. Okay. That is beyond anything. But to try to grasp it, hmm, that's where the pain comes in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You're right. Every
Yeah.
time.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today. As always, I love you so much. And thank you for your time and helping other people. That's who you are anyway. And we need more and more of people like you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
All right. Yeah.